it's like, is it cool if this person records you and you have to like accept it because you
I'm
can't
gonna
record
say
people
okay.
without them knowing.
Oh, hot dang. Hold on. One more issue. Glitchy. Where's the plug for?
I don't know what you're asking me. Although you are asking about plugs, I can't help you with that.
I got it. It's a butt plug situation. And I got it. We're fixed. We're in good. All right. I'm gonna count us down. All right.
Did you accept the recording
I
first?
did. I said
Good.
okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I okayed it. All right. And we're going to the Antarctic in five, four, three, two. Brr.
Oh, it's
So
freezing.
cold. It's so cold
Yes.
where we are. The
Um,
really very terrible weather we
I
encounter in this movie.
well, I
Just
mean, they are in the Arctic. I don't know what the weather is usually like there. They do make a big deal about that it'll be storming for a long time.
yeah, they just live in a constant storm.
I have I've seen this movie a lot, Jamie.
Yeah,
I will
it's
put
a
that out
favorite.
there right away.
Okay,
It is a
good.
favorite. I've seen it so many times, and every time I watch it, I find myself getting distracted because I
Bye.
go online because I have questions that the movie's
Oh,
not answering. My biggest question that I don't get a whole lot of great
maybe I'll be
answers
your
to
Google
online
answer. Well, wait.
is what are they doing there?
Oh,
Like, what
oh.
is the purpose of like one guy appears to just be a helicopter pilot, another guy's just a cook. Like, I didn't know that these were the types of people that went on these Arctic research expeditions.
Well, I
I
didn't
would
know
assume,
either.
yeah, I'd
They're
assume it's
definitely
just a bunch of dorks hanging around, like
scientists, right?
studying ice, but I don't know
They
why
also
they're
have the
there.
radio guy. I mentioned him
Yeah.
before, the DJ guy. What he does kind of perplexes me. Is he like just there for morale? Is
I
he
think
there to,
he's
because he doesn't,
just there to check the radio all
yeah,
day.
but then even that, he's like, it's like he doesn't know how to use it. He's like, well, I don't know. This thing hasn't worked in weeks. I'm like, shouldn't you have been working on that?
Yeah, like, isn't that
What
a
are you doing?
serious issue? Like, I understand that you just murdered a man who was hunting a dog, but before that, shouldn't you have been like, guys, the radio's just not working.
There,
Maybe we have to find some other way to contact the outside world.
you would think he'd be, you know what? He was too busy getting stoned. And where does he get his weed?
I love that everyone seems to have weed. It's really just like, I don't know. Do we have food? Do we have weed? We're good if that's fine.
Right? And do we have the, hold on, we wrote down what was written on their truck, which might give us some insight. But you've seen it so many times. You know what the truck says, what they do. They work for the government of some kind,
Well,
right?
I mean,
Researching?
yeah, but again, what are
I
they
know.
researching and why are so few of them researchers? I don't know what Child's job is. His job is just like the guy who is in charge of getting the flamethrower if we need it. Like that's,
Which is a pretty
and then
good
there's
job to
just a guy
have.
there to handle the dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's just such a bizarre collection of people where I'm like, I don't, are you guys doing science or is it just like a camp
What?
out?
Well, and lots of drinking. They're doing lots of drinking.
Lots
And
of
I
drinking. Why destroy the computer right away? Kurt Russell, unless you're going home tomorrow, don't destroy your
I
only
wouldn't
computer
wouldn't
game.
that make it be the first thing you're doing?
Right.
And there's not, I mean, I think that's an obvious too. There is not one lady
No.
or a mention of a lady or a picture
Mm-mm.
of a wife back in the other warmer
No.
climate.
No,
There's
not at all. No. There's some
not one
pornography
dame.
on the wall of one of the rooms, but
I
that's
didn't
the
even note that.
closest thing we get.
Maybe the wolf is a lady, the lady wolf.
I do have, and this is not to spoil any of my recommendations. This is a remake of a movie that was made in 1951.
This thing is a remake of another
Yes.
thing?
Uh-huh. In that
I
movie,
bet yeah,
there's a couple of ladies.
there
And,
are ladies in that
yeah,
one.
and there is a prequel to this about the Norwegian camp
Yes, which I
that
want to know more about.
that
Yeah.
was made in 2011. A lady in that.
So just they didn't want
This,
ladies in this.
yeah,
I mean, I have to be
you don't want
honest.
ladies in your movie messing it up, JP.
Oh, fresh. Fresh. No, I did. I appreciated it in the sense that sometimes in these 80s movies, when they introduce a lady in these type of movies, it's
Right.
almost disappointing that they did because they
Y-
give her nothing to do or they make her like the sex
yes.
object. And so I appreciated it in that form. And then, you know what? In my own sexist comment, I'll say, and I
Hmm.
told you this right after watching, um, I thought that our sweet man, Oh, why can't I think of his name right now? Why am I
You can
totally
name
blanking it?
anybody in this movie. Talking about the sweet man? Anybody?
No, the lead, who's a Kurt Russell,
Kurt
Kurt Russell. I
Russell?
don't know how
Okay.
it,
All right.
I mean,
No, it's
Kurt
okay.
Russell, hubba hubba, right?
I
Like, I'm glad I didn't have to share him with an on-screen lady because I was
I'm
like,
listen,
hey.
I gotta tell you, I am through this journey through the 80s, I am wildly confused as to what your taste in men are. The way you went, and this is just like giving listeners an insight, a bit of information into our text thread. The way you went gaga over that like hunk of that like Mimbo that was in Tarzan in New York. And then to turn around and be like, oh, bearded, scruffy Kurt Russell, who's like wrapped in blankets and giant coats. I'm into that too.
How did you
I
not
like
think
it.
though that Tarzan, that little Tarzan was so perfectly put together
I
in all the Tarzanian, like to be on a jungle with that? Let's swing from trees, baby. But at
all
the
right.
same time, if I'm in the frozen tundra,
Yeah.
I certainly would
Mhm.
snuggle with a Kurt Russell or
Yeah.
McCready.
Well, you're
McCready.
hoping that he doesn't have a shirt on at that time, but still, yeah, you will definitely snuggle with him.
We'll do our best snuggling.
Right. No, and I think that's another thing. That's another reason I like this movie so much. Like the cast is super fun and
Yeah.
they're
They do a
kind of
good job.
diverse.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little bit different. I'm not
Hmm.
some of the scientists get
Yeah, some of
confused.
them get
Like,
a little overlappy.
yeah,
Yeah.
you get anybody over the age of 50 in a room like taking apart a monster or a human. I'm like, I don't know who's who right now.
And what their jobs are, as we stated. I
Yeah.
also, these kinds of movies, like McCready, I knew,
Hmm.
but I kind of lost track of everybody's names. And like Brimley, I just called him Brimley,
Thank God
or
you didn't
Quaker
call him
Oats.
you didn't call him
Sometimes I call,
Ed Brimley, did you? Because I received so many comments from people being like, I was listening to your episode and at
I
the
bet
end I
they're so
was
mad.
screaming Wilford.
It's a little game we like to play. It's
That's
called
right.
Frustrate the Listener.
It's called upset ourselves with the fact that we can't remember a man's name who we grew up with. Like I've seen him in so many Quaker Oats commercials and Diet
Really,
Coke
I know.
commercials.
He's so young and vibrant here.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
he's
uh,
vibrant in everything. Young, I don't know that he's ever been young. I don't think there exists a picture of Wilford Brimley as a young man.
well, that's he looks as young as I would think
Right.
Wilford
Yeah.
would look. Like I
Oh,
think
yeah, yeah.
this, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome. When he's having that freak out and he's like full Quaker Oats. Like it takes 8 men to take him
He's,
down at one point.
I do love his freak out, and I love the idea. Like you're just gonna lock him in a little shed
Just take
out
him to
in
his
front.
shed. And I love when they're taking blood and they're like, oh yeah, we better go check on him every now
Yeah,
and then.
yeah,
And time is passing. I'm like, I don't know how long he's been out there. He could have been out there for 4 hours or 4 days. I have no idea. He was out
but
there long enough to build a spaceship.
yeah. Well, boy, but did he build that, or was that because he's part alien and the
Well, it's
alien
because
helped him
he's
build
part
it?
alien. I mean, Wilford Brimley's not building an escape spaceship for himself.
I mean, he's one of the scientist doctor guys.
You're
I mean,
right. You know what? If anyone here can do it, it might be him.
it might be him.
Take parts from a helicopter and build a little spacecraft.
And again, timeline. We don't know how long he was really out there for.
Don't know. I've looked online at timelines too about this movie,
Oh, you've done
and he's
well.
out there for days.
I could see where the more you
Yeah.
watch this movie, more questions
Hmm.
would
It's not
arise.
a comfort movie. Like to me,
No,
a
it's
comfort
certainly not.
movie. I have comfort movies, and they're movies that I feel like I can sit down, I can put on, and I can fall asleep to. Like to me, that's a comfort
Ah,
movie.
aw.
This, if I put it on, I'm either an hour in doing internet research or I'm just invested in the movie. But
Be invested. Be
yeah.
invested.
Mhm.
How about those creepy monsters? I guess we'll get into it. They're the thing, I
I mean, we
guess.
have to.
Right? I guess let's just get into it and we'll go a
All
little
right.
out of order. Is that okay? Because I want to
Out
make some
of order.
commentary. Well, yeah, like we're not doing we're not starting from scene one.
But that's what we do on this podcast, Jamie. I'm so confused. What's happening? Are you talking about right now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. No. This is just overall general thoughts.
exactly. These are just
These are things that people wait till the end of the episode and go, oh, this is what they were talking about beforehand. Okay, cool.
exactly.
I think I heard
Exactly.
Jamie say the word butt plugs.
That wasn't when we
Every,
were recording,
oh, it
Doug.
wasn't? Okay. Every now and then there are a few things, and I think I don't know if this will be something we talk about with our 10th anniversary episode, but every now and then,
Exciting
and I
times.
will I will
Uh-oh.
never not think about the time that, and this was when we did The Gate. Do you remember the movie
Oh yeah, yeah. With the
where
with
yeah, with the
Steven
little
Dorff.
little baby
Yeah.
Stephen Dorff
Yeah.
there at the end of the movie? You said, I recommend this movie to people that like butt plugs. And it never made sense to me. I don't know why you said that, but every now and then I'll think about that. And like the other day, I was walking the dog, and I'm like, what did Jamie mean by that? What did that-
I mean, titular. That's all I'm
That's
gonna
exactly, exactly. All right, I think I start.
I
Oh,
want
you
you to.
pointed to yourself, and
I mean,
then
I'm not going to, so you are.
should I?
Not
Okay.
it. I was pointing to myself as if to say,
Oh,
not it.
that's what everybody does when somebody says,
That's,
"Who wants to do this?" They
I
point to
thought that was
themselves
the
as if not it,
universal sign for this one is a no.
not it. This is a no. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We are an 80s movie podcast where every other week, actually, soon we'll be back to every other week.
All
But for
right.
right now, every week we watch a different movie from the 80s and then we talk about it. I'm one of your two hosts, Doug McCambridge. And with me, as always, Jamie.
Oh,
Or
I'm
is it
splitting
Jamie
into so many
Lorella?
different monsters. Look at me. My head is coming out of my stomach and it's got a twin head and a Skeletor body and so much ooze.
Yeah, you said your husband was
Oozes.
out of town on work. There's a chance that your stomach bit his arms off or something.
That was kind of crazy. I did enjoy the effects in here.
It's
I did.
pretty great. I mean,
Yeah, they are.
there's something about like there's something quaint sometimes about pre-computer effects where you can look at them and you're like, oh, that's really stupid, but I really like that they do that. But this thing, like, it's super gross and weird, and just the fact that I'm like, oh, they didn't use computers for this. Like, they had to
Yeah,
bring in
it's
people to
pretty
make
cool.
all of this stuff. It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
And it's like these mini, because I love the idea that it's this creature, this thing, this
Mm-hmm.
alien morphing like mid morph into
Mm-hmm.
like taking over somebody else's body. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
got these little heads and these like when it's the spider with the one guy's head walking around. I'm like, that's great.
He had like Sprout's eyes on
Yeah,
it and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, the dogs, when they start shooting those dogs, I'm a little
I feel a
sad.
little
If
bad.
there's
I
yeah,
feel,
there's
and when the
one.
dogs are so scared, the one that's trying to jump out of
Yeah,
the cage is like,
yes. He's
get
like
me out of
eating, he's
here.
like biting his way out of the cage. Very smart dog. They maybe should have found a way to keep that one.
Well, yeah, all the dogs should have been kept. The
I know.
dogs, I think you referenced this in a text message, and
Sure.
it's absolutely true. The dog does an amazing performance. I mean, everyone in this
Amazing.
cast is great, but the dog needs to
Including
be
the animals.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Great dog acting from our
hmm
friend. The dog's name is Jed.
Jed.
And this was his first movie.
Jed, wow. For his first movie, they kind of made things intense. Like when he's in that one, I wondered.
Hmm.
When he's in that one scene where he walks into the cage with all the other dogs and the dogs are all sleepy and Jed's kind of like pensive and not unsure. I really picked up that vibe from the dog. Like that's
Yeah.
what he was feeling. And I
Yeah.
wonder, as a dog doing the scene, like how do you rehearse that with dogs? It's like, okay, you guys are gonna lay here and then
Yeah.
Jed's gonna explode and you guys are gonna freak out. And
And
did you do that with them?
again, I will try not, well, I don't know. Why would I hold back?
Don't hold back.
I've watched so many just like behind the scenes and documentary things
So
about
you
this.
know,
Richard Mazer, the guy who's the dog guy,
dog
he was
handler.
yeah, he was the oh, what did we see him in? Hold on, I have it here. Oh, Lost episode, License to Drive. He was the dad in License to
Oh, and
Drive.
he's also a dog handler, so he's an
No,
actor.
no. I just meant he's the dog guy in the movie.
Oh, oh,
He's
oh,
not a professional dog handler. And he
sorry.
was also the college recruit in Risky
Yes, I
Business.
know this guy. Yes, yes,
Okay, all
yes.
right, okay. Yeah. So he was talking. I watched an interview with him,
Uh-huh.
and this was this dog's first movie.
All
And he
right.
said that the
Was he a
dog
little
is
freaked
like
out?
more of a wolf than a dog.
Well,
And he's
that's
like, I got to,
animalistic.
yeah. And he's like, well, I'm the one that worked with the dog the most and everything like that. But he was
Yeah.
like, the dog was really new. And there were times where the dog would get nervous on set and it would get this look in
Oh,
its eye. And the trainer had to come in and separate the dog from the people because he was afraid that he would attack.
well, because he
Now,
was under duress.
yes. Now, all of that being said,
He
when he
does a
got
great
to
job,
his second movie, Natty
which was
Gann,
Natty Gann.
he was a pro then. Like he
Smooth sailing.
understood everything.
Smooth.
Like,
Well, and he's with what's her name, making him feel calm
yeah,
as a
yeah.
cucumber.
Right. Are you going to be threatened around her? No,
No,
not at
no,
all.
no.
Not at
And
all.
you're on trains. Trains are kind of
Yes.
calming.
Right.
This is
But
cold
giant
weather. You're
hulking
running.
men with large beards, that's kind of scary. I understand.
Flamethrowers, guns shooting,
Right. Yeah.
metamorphosis into monsters.
So much stuff.
So much. I'd
Oh.
never. So you said you've seen this many a
Yeah.
time. I've
Yeah.
never. This was in 1982, in case our listeners don't know yet, in case they haven't pieced the clues
Right.
together.
hmm
1982, The Thing,
Yeah.
right?
If the fact that Jed is in this movie didn't tip you off as to what it was we were talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
there you have it.
Okay. So you have never seen this.
No, because this is not a movie that I
Yeah.
was tuning into in the
hmm
80s because I was not I was watching The Journey of Natty Gann and Pippi Longstocking. So this was not in my radar.
Right.
And then had I known the power of Kurt Russell's beard, I might have watched it a little sooner, but I'm glad I caught it when I did. You should have seen
Yep. That's
Bearmit,
his name.
my
Uh-huh.
Bearmit, my husband was so stoked that I was watching this because lots of times I'm just like, yeah, I got to watch a podcast movie. Oh, yeah, what's a podcast movie? And I'll kind of mumble
Yeah.
and you know, he was so stoked about watching it. He loves it, and it was like he was giddy, like just thrilled to be watching the movie and
Oh,
all
so
this
he watched it
together.
with you.
Of
Oh,
course, of
okay.
course.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so
With a
adorable.
adorable, jolly smile on his face the whole time.
How could
Yeah,
you not have a smile on your
yeah.
how could you not have a smile on your face
And he
in this
kept,
movie where everyone dies, basically?
yeah, where murder and mayhem is in, and all of the, oh, we're so anxious against each other, like because who's got
Yeah.
the sick, if you will, who
I
is,
I have a movie type, Jamie, and it took me so long. It took me way too long to figure this out. So now I'm just combing the internet, and if any listeners have suggestions, I love a movie where it's just people together and one of them is killing everyone and nobody knows who it is. Like we watched
ah,
that dumb 10 Little Indians or and then
oh, that
that was
movie
it
was a
was a
waste of
horrible
time.
movie, but I
Yeah.
love that concept. I love it so much.
Well, in that case, they fail. You'll admit that even with
Oh,
the concept.
yeah.
Okay,
It's a
good.
yeah, it's a stupid movie. It's really
It's
dumb. But
a
in
shit show.
this, what do you
I said
mumble?
it's a shit show.
It
A
is,
shit
yes,
show.
yeah. But I like those kind of movies. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy murder mysteries, kind of. Like I'll watch
Don't
what are
lie.
the what are those new ones where the newest one was like Glass Onion, and then there was Knives Out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you get
Like I
into those?
enjoy that, but it's just a single murder. I feel like I need more murders in my movie.
And just so the listeners are clear, do you
hmm
need a certain amount of blood or gore
No.
or
Oh
no?
no,
You
no,
just
no. These could be strangulation for all I care.
great. Little insight into the things Doug thinks about.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Hmm.
It's a very
Okay,
intimate way
great.
to kill someone, I
Yes.
assume. No, I like the mystery. I like the idea of it could be any one of us and who is it and nobody trusts each other. That's kind of what I'm into.
Well, it's kind of like when we start the podcast every time. Like who's the
Right,
one
right. Yeah.
like
Who's starting?
yeah.
What are we recording in? Oh, I
Yeah.
think we should tell our listeners. And I'm going to say this is the most boomer shit we've ever done. We've used Skype since the start of
Oh,
this
we've been scaping each
podcast.
other. It's a
And
good
that
old scape time.
And it is, in a strange way, it's a testament to just how long we've been doing this. We've been doing this since before Zoom was even
Dial
a
up.
thing.
We had dial up when we
We
were
had
doing this.
we had dial up. There were screeches and crackles and everything. But then the pandemic came and everybody moved to Zoom, and we're like, nah, we're fine on Skype.
Yeah, we
And
like to scape.
yeah,
And
and
as it
finally
turns out, we were the only two
yeah,
people
the company,
scaping.
I think, emailed us
Yes.
specifically and said, we're done. We're
Well,
closing the
they did. They were
doors.
nice. They were like, they gave us like a 3 month,
They
like,
gave us till
listen,
May.
yeah, we're gonna let you guys know. Maybe figure something else out. Have you
Uh-huh.
heard of the ZOOM?
Right.
I was a little
And we're like,
leery.
we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
We were
we don't know.
actually just
Well,
gonna hit tape recorders where you
yeah,
had to hit record and play on it and just talk into a tiny microphone.
that's how
And
we
then
were
you
gonna
would
work it.
mail me the tape and I would have to cut the two together.
Oh my God, that's crazy that at one time is how things were done.
I loved it. My sister and I used to do that all the time.
Oh,
We
we
would,
used to make little recordings all the
oh,
time. It's the
we'd
best,
we'd
right?
pretend we were news broadcasters and
Yes, the
stuff. It's
news
just,
broadcasters was a big thing.
I
Oh
love it.
man,
Yeah.
I
There are
do
people
too.
from
Do
a
you have them
certain,
still?
no, I don't have them.
I have
No.
one of them somewhere saved. It was really fun. It was, uh, yeah, my sister, my brother, and I would do these like recorded newscasts, which was
Yeah,
so fun
sure.
to do.
And my brother would talk like this and say he was giving the serious news, like,
Oh,
hello.
Yeah, yeah. And then I would come on like a lunatic,
that makes sense.
coming in hot.
That tracks. Yeah. Boy, it's too bad we don't have a Patreon anymore because that's a Patreon episode right there.
For sure.
All right. So, yes,
But
as you said, it's The Thing from
correct.
1982, directed by John Carpenter. Now, John
Johnny
Carpenter,
Carpenter. Yeah.
I feel like we've already done this is our third John Carpenter. And I will say that, in my personal opinion, we haven't done great with our Carpenter choices before this. He
Oh
did
no.
Escape from New York, also with
Right.
Kurt Russell, where he
Yeah.
wore an eye patch.
Yeah. Not my favorite Kurt Russell, but it's
Not,
okay.
no, not my favorite either.
No.
And then he, and then, um, speaking of Keith David, who plays Childs in this, he was the number two in They Live, the Magic
Oh,
Sunglasses
they live.
Aliens
Yes.
movie. Yes. So,
Yeah.
and that was one where we were like, all right, okay, we
Yeah, we
kind of,
don't
all
know.
right. It's
But this one's
silly,
good.
but it's
This
not
one's
silly
much
enough.
better.
Yet this is really good. And there's also a movie he directed in 1980 called The Fog, which is very good.
Okay.
And then I think the last one of his in the 80s that we could do is Prince of Darkness, which is very weird, but also kind of like a fun cast of people. These people are stuck in an abandoned church with like
Hmm.
the essence of Satan or something. I don't know.
The
It's a bunch of
essence of
yeah,
Satan.
it's really
Sounds
weird.
salty.
Really weird. There's like green goo that possesses people and they all
Mm,
try and kill each other. It's also super fun. So
okay.
um big stacked cast. We've seen Kurt Russell in, of course, Escape from New York and Overboard.
Of course.
T.K. Carter, who is Knowles, the guy who is
Which
on
one smells?
roller skates, which
Yeah.
is not developed enough in this movie. I will say,
No.
if this movie falters on one thing, it's that we see him on roller skates once and
Yeah, I
not
want him to
all the
keep
way
roller
through.
skating
Yes.
around. And then it's another question I had. I'm like, why is this guy roller skating in the Arctic? What's
Yeah.
happening? What is he? And he's a chef. What does he
He's
do
just
exactly?
the chef. He's
But what does he
just
cook? Because in the end, don't they decide they're going to eat the canned
it's
food
just
because
eating
they all
out
were
of
sick?
cans. It makes me feel like he's just heating up Chef Boyardee, and that's his
Yeah, what's the
job.
chefing? What's the chefing really about?
I don't I don't know. I don't know what he's cooking up. I don't know really what's happening. I don't know why.
He's cooking up his roller skate routine, is what he's cooking up.
Do you need a chef? Jamie, do you? Like you're
Well,
scientists, you're in
I'm
the Arctic.
assuming.
Like, can't you just eat out of cans and boxes or whatever?
Well, I'm assuming that the it's part of the team. It's part of the government issued.
Hey, I have to take a
I
phone
wonder
call
if
real
half
quick.
these jobs would be cut, by the way, with our new regime. I'm
I
just saying.
gotta
What?
take a quick phone
Oh,
call. Sorry. This
oh,
is the
you're taking
dumbest thing.
calls.
Yeah, hold
Oh,
on.
go ahead. Are you okay? Okay, go.
Hello. Hey. Yes, actually I forgot to reach out to you. Can you come closer to 7:30? I mean, sorry, 6:30. Oh my God. No, if you could make it, if you could come a little bit before 7, that would be great. I feel like with traffic at that time, we might need the extra time to get down there. Does that work? Yeah, 6:30, 6:45, something like that. All right. Excellent. Okay, great. Thanks. All right, bye. Sorry, that was my dad. He always calls. He never texts,
Oh,
even when it's
oh,
something that
he's
could
not a
be texted.
texter.
No, no, not at all.
Oh,
All
I
right,
love.
sorry.
I'm being nosy. What is he coming over for?
I have to take Jocelyn for her post-op
Oh,
appointment tomorrow.
And Penn,
early.
Penn,
Yeah,
it's
Penn.
early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Penn. Driving down to the big city in the morning, Jamie. That rush
Hey,
hour traffic. You get
it's gonna be
a lot of
something.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Plan an extra 30 minutes. I'm just saying. Okay,
yeah,
anyway.
definitely. And I feel bad because you were making a great joke about how Knowles would be cut in this current administration. Because he would. He'd be
Yeah.
like, we don't need chefs. We don't need chefs down in the Arctic or whatever.
They can eat protein bars.
You
Protein
need
bars.
protein.
Elon will make them for them.
We will send the McDonald's. It's fine.
Oh man.
Actually, this whole unit would have been
Very
cut. Like,
stupid
for
people
this.
work down there anyway. They're not as smart as me.
Nobody is. Oh
Right.
man. Oh man.
Yeah, but again, yeah. So anyway, the reason I brought him up was he was apparently in the Hollywood Nights, a movie I barely remember,
Oh yeah.
and he was in one of the skits in Amazon Women on the Moon.
Making us laugh in that silly
Hmm. Hmm.
montage of like, right? It was basically
It was, yeah, it was just, yeah, it was a
little
bunch of
skits.
little
Yeah.
skits. Yeah.
Little fun
Um,
skits.
Keith David, who plays Childs,
Uh-huh.
round at the end with Kurt Russell, was in Roadhouse. Don't remember him in Roadhouse at all.
Wow.
And he was in They Live and Stars and Bars.
Oh, Stars and Bars has
Uh-huh.
that one hit you. So Carpenter has favorites that he likes to
Yeah,
use over and over again, it seems to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
That's something I'm deducing.
As we said, the dog was in that again.
Correct.
We talked about Richard Macer being licensed to drive and also an expert dog handler. And Donald Moffat, the old guy, like
The very old guy,
the
the one that freaks out when he's like, if I have to be
that is
tied to this chair
that's
any
my
longer.
favorite line of the movie. I love it. Apparently, he was the tax collector in Popeye.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and then everybody else in this movie, we have not seen them in anything we've done
Oh, brand
so
new to
far.
our eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, were they in many other things?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are career and working
Well, good
actors.
for them all. Good
Yes.
for them all.
Yeah, this wasn't a one-off for anyone.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
yeah, yeah. And
Good.
it was interesting. Again, in some other behind the scenes things I saw, this was Keith David's first movie.
Oh,
He was he was an English teacher and he was a stage performer.
an
And
English
he's
teaching stage performer.
yeah,
Love it. I bet he did a
and
Renaissance fair or two in his day.
I mean, I think his level of stage was a little bit higher than that. I think he was on
Don't
Broadway.
judge a Ren Fair performer, bro.
No, you're right. Okay, there's a good chance.
Yeah.
Um, but also he said that, since this was his first movie, he was really nervous.
Oh.
And he said that the old guy, Donald Moffat, who was in Popeye, he was also a stage actor. And he
Oh,
said that
so they
when he was performing, even if he wasn't in the scene, he would be there to watch what he did. Like he
wasn't
had said,
that
he learned,
kind.
yeah, he said he learned a lot from what just watching him perform. And he also said at one point, Richard Mazer, the dog guy, pulled him aside after a scene and was like, listen, you don't have to project so much. Like we're just in a tiny room, like just so yeah,
Well, the
those were just
nerves
things
and
he
then the
talked about,
background, I
right?
could see
Yes.
that, Vian. How
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
How fun
It
little
was really
nuggets
fun
of.
listening to him talk about this movie. So
I
yeah.
bet this was a great experience for all of them because I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll give it away. I
Yeah.
thought it was well done overall, and
Hmm.
everything looked like you said, even though it, we think we have better technology now to do some of these
Hmm.
little effects that they did. They did a great job of them at the time. The
Sure.
story is everybody plays a great part, and the story is a little loose, like you said. What exactly are we researching up here, other than like
It's just
that's
dumb
another thing
stuff that
because
we don't even really need to know, I guess. It's just something
they're
from
not the
watching
only
this.
ones up there too. Because the
No.
Norwegians are there, so like
Somebody talks about Russians at one point as well. Like I think, and maybe this is the way the Arctic works. I think there's just a bunch of countries that have random bases there, and
because
they're
they're got to
always
do their
doing
research on
research.
their different things. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess. Were they
I,
maybe the dogs were part of the research? You'd ask why all the dogs.
oh,
I don't know.
okay. No, that's a good question. Why all the dogs? It's all right. I guess we got to research that. Into the Arctic. I do. I mean, I do think that the dogs maybe just,
You
they're
think they're like
those
service
snow
animals? Like,
dogs. No, I'm just saying,
oh,
in case of emergency, maybe they got some sleds.
so do
Maybe
they
the
need him? They
dogs
need to
can,
hire someone who's going to sled them. Who's
right?
the sledder?
Yeah, maybe, if we run into a real problem here and we have to get to the Norwegian camp, the dogs will take us.
But isn't that why they have the helicopter guy? Because he's just going to fly
But
over
what if something
everything?
happens to the helicopters? Like,
Which it does. Yeah,
oh
but
my God, I
even
almost
it
called him Ed
does.
Brimley. God damn it. Yeah, right. What if one of the people there goes nutso and breaks all of your way, like off of this place?
But they do, and they don't look at, oh, because the
The
dog's already
dogs are
dead by
dead.
that time.
Yeah. Maybe you don't start by killing all the dogs.
But at least save like how many need to pull a sled? At least two
Well,
of
we
your
find out,
strongest.
we find out that Brimley killed the rest of the dogs.
Yeah, Brimley
So
went
they
a
didn't
little
shoot
apeshit.
all of them, but when
Well, he
he's
was
going nutso
suspicious.
on the computers, right? Yeah.
And that's what I sort of was like, I don't know if he's infected. I think he's just
I
suspicious
wasn't, yeah,
because
he wasn't infected then, but
yeah.
at some point when he was in his little tool shed, he
What a
did become
crazy
infected.
way the test they do with the copper um
Just copper wire and blood.
wire and that like it either bubbles and spouts at you or just makes a soft sizzling sound.
Yeah, right. It either tries to attack you or it just sizzles out.
Oh man.
What about how easily McCready takes control of everybody? How easily
Well,
he's like, hey, guess who's in charge here? Me, the hot guy. All right,
yeah.
let's all just pay attention to the hunk a little
When
bit.
you bring a hat like that to the Antarctic, you know
His
that you're going to
old
be put in
timey,
charge at some
his
point.
old timey prospector's hat.
You don't bring that hat unless you know shit's going to go down and they're going to listen to me when it does.
That's right. No, that's a good
And like
point.
he wears those cool sunglasses. One point he does put
Hmm.
on like the goggles, the standard like goggles like they
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Oh, I can't take you seriously with this." And I'm glad he doesn't leave them on for more than 8 minutes, I don't think,
right.
when he's
No,
doing because it's part of it is his look that says,
yes,
"I'm the guy." Hey, listen, he's not and I give props to the roller skate and cook, but he's not rolling around on roller skates as much as I love the idea of rolling all around this place in roller skates. You're not going to necessarily let that guy lead you, are you? The roller
no,
skate
but
guy?
he is drinking a lot.
The roller
Like,
skate guy
he,
or McCreary?
oh, McCready.
McCready.
Yeah, he's
McDreamy. What?
McDreamy. That's what I meant to say. It appears that if you're not a scientist, you're kind of just roller skating around, smoking weed or drinking. Like that's why
Well,
you're here. That's what you're here to do. Especially, also, here's the other thing. You're the helicopter pilot. Maybe don't be drinking all the time.
Well, the helicopter pilot and these conditions are not ideal to be flying in. It is constantly a terrible storm out there with very poor visibility. I don't think we want to and and again, I sort of appreciated that they didn't do this and maybe you're stuck in this place. It's all dudes. Maybe that's why you're drinking. But I wanted to see like a
Just because
picture of
so
a
the
little
dudes will look a
girl.
little bit better to you late at night. You
Oh
know,
man.
you're a little lonely and you're like, I don't know, those roller
It's
skates are kind of
cold.
doing it for me.
It's cold and lonely in these
That's
parts, you know
right.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
Sorry, I cut you off. You're
Oh, you
drinking
didn't cut
because
me off.
there's a bunch of dudes around?
Yeah, you're drinking and you're just trying to I don't know how
They're
to
just
explain it.
killing time. Like it seems like they're just killing time for the most part because this is the greatest thing that's happened
This
to
is
them.
the action.
Like
Yeah,
this
this
is
is the
really
action.
like, I don't know, this is what we've been waiting for,
And
right? Like
well,
aliens or something?
and like you said, what are they doing?
No
Unless
idea.
they're waiting for these aliens, because why did we have flamethrowers? What are the seals and the penguins that out of control in the
Holy
area?
shit, what an amazing question that watching this movie so many times I never thought, why do you have all these flamethrowers? They have
What's
enough
going
to give
on?
like three people flamethrowers at one time.
And when it starts to go out, he figures it out. That's kind of a crazy scene too. I'm like, where's the flame? Bring back the flame. Anyway.
I don't know how
Any-
flamethrowers
Why?
work. I don't like because when what's his name? You called him a hippie. Windows, the guy who works the
Oh, I
radio and
do
wears
like his name.
sunglasses all the time. He just stands there and basically gets eaten by the thing. And I'm like, you have a flamethrower on, dude. Like, just
Yeah, but
point it at the.
I called him the DJ because I really didn't know what he
Yeah,
did.
I don't. The
But there's
DJ, just because there's a radio there. That's it. That's the reason. Okay.
pretty much, pretty much.
So when he said he couldn't get anyone, you thought it was that he couldn't get any music.
Yeah, they couldn't get any good stations.
All right.
I mean, you're doing all that drinking, you want some good tunes.
That's right. I understand. I totally get it.
So
Yeah.
they bring a whole guy that knows how to work the FM system or
He
the
wanted to
AM.
bring us, he wanted to bring us turntables, but they were like, no, I'm sorry.
It's
That's
too
where
much.
that compartment's where all the weed goes. You got to leave those at home.
You have options. And there's all this booze, of course, that we have to ship.
Yeah, we got to all bring Long Johns and booze and everything. All right. So now you said this movie really works and the practical effects work. The only thing about this movie that I really, really don't like is I
All the
don't
snow.
like the spaceship at the beginning.
Well,
Flying through space. Like, I
oh,
feel like we don't need it. Like, I like the reveal of them finding the spaceship that was
the
dug
big
up. Like,
hole.
that's
Yeah,
cool. I
I
don't
agree.
need a spaceship flying to Earth at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I didn't need it either.
It
I
doesn't,
actually
yeah.
forgot it happened. It was, yeah. Did I
But I
even note
will,
it?
I don't
I
know.
don't think I noted it.
I
Oh,
don't
wait,
know.
I did.
Okay.
Spaceship, explosion, planet. That's what I
And
wrote.
you have to have, you have to have confidence in your movie to start with no music, just
Yeah.
darkness and just credits coming up. Like
Because
it's really silence. And we've watched movies before like this where I thought I just had the TV muted
yes, where I was
because
like, something's wrong with the sound.
because it's not effective, but you kind of know what you're in for here. This is
Yeah,
going to
you're
be
ready.
intense
Yep,
and I'm for it. Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, I agree.
So we
Uh,
cut to the first things that we see after a spaceship that is unnecessary are some guys in a helicopter chasing a dog and shooting at the dog.
Here's a fun fact that my
Sure.
husband let me know of.
Yeah.
When we were watching this movie. So the guy in the helicopter shooting is the producer of the movie. Did you
Yeah,
know that?
I did.
Okay.
The one guy's the producer, and I think the other guy has to do with makeup effects, something like that. Yeah.
How fun is that? They're
Mhm.
like, yeah, we're gonna just get in this little scene.
It's
But yeah,
awesome.
there's
I really do like it how they're like, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, no more actors, please. Like we all have
Yeah.
these guys and they're all Americans. Who's gonna play the Norwegians? Just some dudes we have on set. Just come on, that's fine.
no, but they're in helicopters and they're shooting at this wolf who another again, the performance by this wolf, the running that he
Beautiful.
is doing. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Just
Constantly
like
stopping to look back to be like, oh, is the
Yeah.
helicopter still there?
very
Oh my God,
suspicious
yes.
still. Yes, yes. Leaping through snow. I was like, how many
Mm-hmm.
times did they make this poor animal run? Or what was he running toward? What was the incentive? Like I'm curious now about animal handling in films because how do we get this dog to really do these things? But anyway, I digress.
I mean,
'cause this is
we've talked about animal performances in movies, some way more captivating than the human performances.
Are you
That
thinking about
dog,
that monkey in the gorilla movie with Dom DeLuise?
Jimmy, it was
Sorry.
like a guy in a costume. I'm sorry to break it to you. But yes, no, that performance is great. I was thinking about the animals in that Chevy Chase I Died and Became a Dog movie.
Oh, that dog did a great
The
job.
dog and the cat in that movie were great. So much better than Chevy Chase.
Man, we have watched some crazy movies.
Yes. Yeah. So the dog's running,
Right.
and we're introduced now to our hero of the film, Kurt Russell, sitting in. He appears to be. He has like his own little cabin or little room up in a little perch
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Yeah, it's like his own little shack, a little
Yes.
off from the main well, it's all part of the main base, I guess, but it's away from the main building. We'll
Do you think
say.
he's up high so he can look and be like, "Oh yeah, I could fly today"?
Yeah, probably
Okay,
actually.
right. Yes. He's playing computer
I think
chess.
that's how flying works.
I think that is.
Yeah, he is
The
playing
higher up
computer.
you are, the more
Yes.
you can see the sky and the weather generally.
And that's what you need. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's playing
Um,
computer chess. Doesn't appear to be very good at it, I guess. I mean,
well, he's
who
also
could beat a
drinking a lot.
computer in the 80s?
He's also drinking a lot of Jim Beam.
He
So
is.
that might affect his performance, but
Yes.
not his acting performance. No, no, no.
Oh.
His chess playing performance.
If
And you're right.
anything, it heightens his acting performance.
Indeed. I mean, didn't we learn from what was that Matthew Broderick movie? Like, it is just hard to beat a computer in the 80s,
I
right?
there's there have been times I know it wasn't the first time I saw this movie, but I remember watching this movie at one point going, could they have brought chess back into this at the end where he's like, the only way to beat this
Oh,
alien is, and but then I was like, no, that's really
like
stupid. Like,
checkmate.
I'm
Yeah,
glad they
no,
didn't do it. But
me too.
I always found it to be an interesting way to introduce your character by destroying the only form of entertainment he seems to have here by dumping booze into the computer.
Well, it's the beginning of the end here. He didn't even know yet, but he
Yeah.
knew. You know what I
And
mean?
And I also wonder, like, I guess this is his little cabin area, but also, is he just like a loner? Because we also cut inside to the, I'm going to call it the game room. And like Wilford
Oh,
Brimley's playing paddleball and there's guys playing cards. Like,
well,
it does
again,
kind of seem fun.
when you're the leader of the pack, like he
But he's
has,
not the leader at this point. The old
yeah.
man's the leader.
But this is why he makes a good leader because he's the aloof guy doing his own thing,
Okay.
playing chess and breaking computers.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus, the rest of them are just nerds for the most. I mean, all those scientists are just dorks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he even asked that one guy, he's like, I think you're in charge now. And he's like, I'm not as good a scientist as that guy that we just
Oh, yeah, the one
blowtorched.
with the glasses. Yeah, he's such a nervous Nelly.
He's such a nervous Nelly.
Uh,
And also at one point, the old man, when he puts his gun down, he turns to Turtleneck and he's like, maybe you should be in charge. And that guy's like, well, I don't think
that's
so.
why. Why do you think somebody
Right.
had to step up? And you can
Yeah.
only take so big of a step with skates on. And slide.
Do you, I'm sorry, Jamie, but I am not following a cook into battle against an alien.
Why? He's probably the one that knows more about flame throwing than anyone else. Get it?
Okay, maybe. All right. So the Norwegians, these guys are a hot mess because, first of all, I don't know how they, I mean, I understand how it's tough to probably shoot a dog from a helicopter, but they land this thing and the guy starts throwing a grenade and the one that just like slips out of his hand.
Well, I think they're a little on edge.
Sure.
Apparently, they've just had the
Oh,
time that we're
we've
going
been
to see
through it.
happen. And these guys must be the only ones left. At least that's
Mhm.
what they discover later. So yeah, they're a hot mess when they arrive. They don't successfully kill the dog.
No.
Um, they do get killed
They
themselves,
do an
right?
amazing job of killing themselves or
Yeah.
being killed because the dog runs up like the whole crew, again, whatever they're there to do, they all come outside because they
Yeah.
hear gunshots and everything like that. And the dog runs up to them, basically like, save me from
Yeah.
these maniacs. And the one Norwegian blows himself and the helicopter up with a
Mhm.
bomb, and the other one shoots, I think he shoots one of the guys in the leg.
Yeah.
And then the old man who's still inside shoots the Norwegian right in the face, right in the eye.
Just
And then that
poof.
dude's total dead zoes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And that's it. So that's how we get started. As you said, there's a DJ. His
I
name is
mean,
Windows.
you
Everyone
can't
seems to
get
have a real last name in this movie except for him, whose name is Windows.
Windows.
That's got to be because he wears sunglasses indoors,
Oh, I
right?
thought it was because he was no windows in his room that he works out of, but maybe not. No, I'm just kidding. I did not think
We're
that.
gonna, I'm sorry, we're gonna name you after this room we put you in. Is that cool?
Which was actually lacking windows. So you see how that
What's your
works?
last name? McCready? All right, you're Windows. Why? Because there's no windows in this room.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice of a last name, but it does
It
fit him
is.
because he's a kind of an odd character in.
Yeah, I feel like watching this movie and looking at all the characters and everything that they do and everything. I do like Kurt Russell's the cool guy. I totally get it.
Absolute.
I do. I have such a soft spot for the old guy with the crazy eyebrows. Like I like I kind of there's something about a guy who's in charge, but he's kind of got a down to earth, calm demeanor. I always like to
She's got
feel
to.
like, yeah, I always like to feel like in a panic situation, I'd be that guy,
I
but I
think
probably
you would
wouldn't.
be.
I'd probably be Windows. Like if somebody standing next to me turned into a monster, I'd probably panic and not be able to flamethrow him and I'd get eaten.
No, I think you would be the calm, cool guy.
I don't
I don't think
know.
you'd be.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
this fictitious situation, making me feel better about how I would handle myself. So yeah, so we're introduced to him. We're introduced to, as we said, Knowles, who is the roller skating
Roller skating.
chef.
Mm-hmm.
There's Palmer, the guy who like wears,
Oh,
let's call him like Kramer. He kind of has a Kramer-ish look to him. He wears like the
isn't he the
denim
teacher?
vest. He's the
Oh,
guy who's always
yes.
smoking weed.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And there's McCready, who we've talked about, and then there's just some doctors and stuff. We'll get into people as we go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's people. At one point, they're like a crew of 12. I'm like, that's way too many people to try and
There's
keep
really
track of.
not that many. Like the cast is, there's
Yeah,
just a few
that's
that
it.
are like nondescript, I guess, and that, like you said, they're scientisty.
Right.
Um, so and they're not wearing roller skates.
Yeah. But I do appreciate, listen, you put one guy in roller skates, one guy's always smoking weed, one guy's wearing a turtleneck and a sweater for some reason to maybe stand out from the other doctors.
Yeah, it helps me stand
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah, there's one
Exactly.
guy just wearing a puffy orange vest everywhere he goes. So I can kind of
Safety.
keep these
Yeah.
characters. One wears glasses. Like,
Hmm.
I appreciate that because we've watched so many movies for this podcast, Jamie, and there's so many movies with the cast are like girls in their 20 somethings and they are all the same race and they all kind of
And
have the
it's
same
so
hair
hard.
color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can't you just put distinguishing clothing on these people? So at least this does that.
Give me something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they are now needing to figure out. I think the one guy is like, "So are we at war with Norway? What's happening? Why did Norway come to attack us?" They
Yes.
don't see the correlation between Norway chasing the wolf into their. They actually, like you had mentioned, they sort of protect the wolf, take the wolf in, and add it
Yes.
to their collection of wolves
Yeah.
that they
Well, and that
have.
doesn't even happen at this point. And this is the
Oh
biggest
yeah, because
mistake
the
of the
wolf gets
movie.
to just wander around.
Yeah, the dog guy just lets the wolf wander around through this camp, and there's so
Let's it
many,
get acclimated.
yeah, and there's so many great shots of the camera just like cruising through like empty hallways and stuff, and then you'll just see the dog like walk around the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it'll
His
look
little
inside a
tail turn.
room and it'll be like, I'm not going in that room. And I love when he
Mhm.
walks into the one room and there's just a silhouette on the wall,
Of
just like
some
a
kind of
shadow.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
you're like, what is the dog? See, this
yeah.
was before I really knew what was going on. I'm like, oh, I see. So one of the guys is into dog stuff. Okay.
Oh no. I like to think
I
at that
quickly found
point,
out that was wrong, but
I like to think at that point, you're like, why does my husband like this movie so much? Doug said this is a great movie. Is it about dog stuff? I'm a little worried about these two.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So this is before we know what's going on. But of course, then that's like who the dog first infects. And we don't know who it
Yeah.
is for a very long time.
Right,
All
right.
right. Yeah. Um, and
Well, so
again,
the guys
yeah.
they have to take now. They all so half of them decide that they need to get in that helicopter flown by McCready,
Right.
sober or not, and conditions being good or not, because they're like, yeah, it sucks for flying. There's a storm coming in, and he's like, I don't care, I'll do it. With literally, I think Jim Beam breath, and he's like,
Right.
not a problem. I'll get in that plane. And we're gonna go.
I do think the one guy is literally smoking a joint going, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. And they're like, yeah, I don't think so.
We're
We'll
we're
take
gonna
the
leave you
drunk.
here. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Whatever your job is again. You want to fly the helicopter, but we
maybe
already
he's
have
the
a pilot.
backup helicopter guy. Maybe
You
he's like
need
a backup.
backups. Who's the backup
Mhm.
chef, Jamie? What if
Mhm.
something happens to Knowles?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know how it's all working,
All
but
right.
off they go to
Yes.
the Norway camp where they discover sort of a wreckage, a sad, snowy
Hmm.
wreck, dead bodies,
Place is all like burned out.
burned out. Yes, yes,
One guy
deserted,
appears to have
burned.
like cut his wrists, but like
Oh,
all the blood
awful.
froze and everything.
Couldn't handle what he was seeing. Something
Mhm.
happened there that was
Yes.
just Bum, bum, bum. And then they discover this like thing in the ground.
That's a little bit later because they
Oh,
do. This
I was
is
getting
when.
ahead of
No,
myself.
no, no, that's okay. No, and anytime I go to this camp, I'm like, all right, you probably could have actually done both of these at the same time because this is when they find a monster, like a frozen monster,
Oh, that's
but
right.
it
And they
was like
bring it
mid
back.
transformation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So then they just like put a
Good
tarp over
scientists,
it.
though, because they figure it out right away.
Good, great scientists because they take it back and they're like, "Hey, Brimley, what's this thing?" He's like, "I don't know, but I'll just cut into it and start ripping organs out."
Brave as oh, and then when he does, and he's making the faces,
Oh,
and he's like,
he's
"Oh God,
yeah,
oh God."
he's busting this thing up like it's all you can eat crab cakes or not crab cakes, crab legs. Like he's just ripping these bug-like legs off of this thing, but it's got
Yeah,
like mutated monster faces and
and
stuff.
everything oozes, which I kind of
Yeah.
loved.
Hmm.
Um, and
And
I
he's
don't
having
even
so
think,
much fun.
yeah,
He's just like, well, it's got lungs and it's got a liver and it's got a stomach and everything. And immediately, like, he already has formed an idea that this
yeah,
thing is
he's got a
kind of
hypothesis. Uh-huh.
human, or it was something that was
It was
trying to become a
trans.
human
Yep, yep.
race.
It was in the mid trans. It was transforming, and it's taking on. Yeah, and they instantly know that it is, and maybe that's why. Maybe because hello, maybe that's what they are studying up there as other life forms and their
But
contacts being made. Maybe that's why it's not a total surprise to them because they don't come off like an alien, what, or outer space, what?
oh, nobody asks any questions about this.
No, it's just like,
No.
of course.
The only
It's
thing they
not like,
say is like, hey, dog guy, maybe put that dog with the other dogs.
yeah,
Maybe that's a good idea right now. Okay,
yeah. Why
I'll
is
do
the
that.
ugly dog just walk around our
Right.
little entertainment area?
There's a quick
It,
scene in here where the guy who smokes joints and Childs are sharing a room.
oh
And
yeah,
it's the only bit of this that we see where when I watch this, I'm always like, what's the roommate situation here? Like, who's rooming with who?
who's staying
It's
with
such
who?
a
Yeah.
dumb thing for me to want to
And
know.
why does the guy in the chopper have his own space if they're all roommates?
Right. But I don't know.
Hmm.
Is that a room? I
Oh,
mean,
I
he's
don't
sitting there with his
know.
computer, but I don't know.
Maybe it's another one of their little, like maybe that's the computer lab or something.
The computer lab and he destroyed their only computer. No, we see a computer. It appears that Wilford Brimley's playing a computer game later where it's like this cell
Oh,
eats this cell. And anyway, when he's doing his dog
yeah.
research.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, cool. All right. So now we do see the one dog be put into the pen with the other dogs.
Yeah, it's an
And
intense situation.
we see a lot. The movie really ramps up at this point
Yes, yes.
because the dog appears to be trying to take over the other dogs or kill them or something or
I
form
thought he was already
like
taken over, like himself, and now has
right.
to
Yes.
kill, but I don't know. Does he kill all the dogs to
I
become
don't
like
know.
one
Like is he
mega
just
dog?
yeah, right. Is he trying to make all of the rest of the dogs more alien dogs
Which
so
is
they're
kind of,
just
don't
like
they talk about that? That they're all the
yeah.
one? So maybe that
Uh-huh.
is it. Like if the alien could have gotten all of the dudes to come
Right.
together, it would have taken. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah.
yeah, because it's a weird thing where I'm like, is it trying to make all of the dogs aliens, or it actually looks like it's trying to pull all the dogs
Yeah,
together to
because it's
make
got
like
these tentacles.
yeah, to make like a Voltron monster or something, just like pieces of everything together. And immediately they're like, hey, get the guy who knows the flamethrowers to get all the flamethrowers and to flamethrower this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And he totally does.
Well, because that's what's going to kill it is the
Hmm.
fire.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really have any other ideas as to what to
Well,
do, but fire kills a lot of stuff. So you know what? When
we'll
in
burn
doubt,
it.
use fire. Yes,
We'll burn it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. So they did a pretty good job, I believe, of killing the monster at this point. But the dog has already infected one of them.
Right.
So
They don't
that's
know that
sort of the
yet, though,
problem. Right,
because they
exactly.
all seem to be acting some of them
Well,
slightly suspicious, but not.
Well, this is when they're having the huge conversation about what's going on here. And I love how
Mhm.
Childs just keeps calling it voodoo bullshit. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, do you
yeah,
believe
yeah.
this voodoo
You don't believe
bullshit?
this, little dude. See, that's the one that doesn't believe that they're aliens. The one.
Right.
Yeah.
One person is not sold on this. Everybody else is like, yeah, it seems like aliens to me.
Yeah.
But I
It's
mean,
facts.
honestly, how do you explain what you just saw?
I don't know.
And they
I don't
all
know.
saw it. They all stood there and watched this
It was
monster like
freaky.
killing the dogs, and they
Well,
had to burn
and
it.
they heard what they heard first was the poor dogs crying,
Hmm.
and we had to figure out what was going on. And oh boy, not
Yes.
not a not a not a pretty
Right.
sight.
But now this is when they go back to the camp as a larger group and they find the big spaceship.
The Norwegian. Yep.
Yes. My God, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
You're so
yawning.
tired. You're
I am
so tired.
exhausted. It's hard.
All right, no, it's okay. Um, so now Wilford Brimley is doing his own research. He's been put in charge of just like finding out what's happening here. And
Brimley,
he
yeah, I thought he was more in charge of. Isn't he autopsying?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
autopsying, and it's like he's playing an old school computer game of like an alien cell
Oh
turning
yeah,
into a
yeah.
dog cell. It looks like a Commodore 64 game or
It
something.
really is. It's even it's sadder than that, even because
It,
yeah, it's like this
yes,
green circle takes over the yellow circle.
right.
It's like an etch a sketch.
Yeah, it's like the shittiest Pac-Man you've
Yeah,
ever seen in your life. And
yeah.
what's also awesome about this, and I love how these old computers would never be able to do this, because then Wilford Brimley types in like, "What are the chances that this thing has
Oh
infected
yeah.
us?" And it's like he's talking to AI nowadays that the thing's like, "Well, there's like a 74% chance that one of you guys are infected."
But I like it. He asks. He doesn't. He asked that in private. Like he's like, I just need to know
Yeah.
the answer to this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got like it's really funny him just watching this computer and asking it questions because he's got a stopwatch in one hand for some reason and a pencil in the other. And he's just like, how long before this thing takes over the world? And it's like, I don't know, maybe like 8 days, which
Yeah.
makes no sense. Like the
No.
timetable makes no sense. This thing takes 8 days to kill like 10 guys.
Well, and now these guys are isolated. Like, how's it
Right.
getting taking over the rest of the world unless it gets
Well, the
super
plan, I mean, the thing's plan, and they say as much at the end, is like it
wor-
it knows it can't escape, so it's just gonna freeze itself. So then a
Yeah.
rescue team comes in and takes it
And
back.
it takes over again.
Does the
Yeah.
same dumb thing that these idiots did.
Yep. It's a cycle. It's the
Right.
yep. The
So
vicious cycle.
while all of this is going on, Windows and the guy who wears a giant orange vest around,
Best. Hmm.
they're moving these monster bodies and the bodies of the Norwegians
Into a
that they killed.
closet?
Yeah, they're just like put him in the closet.
Into like a storage closet.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love how the one guy's like, McCready, you got to get your stuff out of the storage closet because we got goopy bodies in
Now we have bodies going in there. She's like, all right, man, I'll get it done. And it takes two of them. Oh, and the one guy takes a look at the thing one more time and is like, oh, let me see.
Yeah, Windows is very curious. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
why don't you raise your glasses? Like you'd be able to see it a little bit better.
Okay,
It's
hey,
a
yeah.
dark room and you're wearing your sunglasses. So Windows takes off, which gives this monster a chance to take over, like wrap its gross tentacles around the
It
orange
was
vest guy.
never really dead. That was something
That's
that,
what Wilford Brimley said. It would have been
yes.
nice if he told
Well,
everyone
he
about
put it
that.
in his notes. He didn't
Yeah,
even tell
great,
anybody.
good. Yeah, right then. Keep that to yourself. That's
It's
a good idea.
it's the doctor with the glasses or his assistant that's like, so I was reading his notebook and there's a lot he's not telling us.
Read his notebook and he
Yeah.
just wrote, "We're fucked." I don't know
Yeah.
what that means. Windows runs out, comes back, sees this monster all over the guy, and runs out to get everybody else. They come back. He's totally gone now. But the
Uh-oh.
window's broken. He's escaped through the window.
Right.
They find him. I guess they all get bundled up. Like the amount of work
They
I
have
assume
to.
it takes for them to put on their coats and their boots, and every time they have to run in and out of this place is great.
Well, and that's why the one guy is there because when they do that and they come back in, they're going to need a warm cup of hot cocoa. And who's going to
Oh,
make it?
that's what Nulls is
Their
there for.
chef. Mhm.
I would love to just have the camera follow him through the whole movie. And as they run out, he's like, yes. And then he runs into the kitchen just to start making the hot cocoa
He's got marshmallows
while they're
stored away.
while they're fighting monsters. He's like,
He's
guys,
like,
hot cocoa's almost
Coco?
done.
Coco, anyone?
So they find the guy in the orange vest, and he's mostly a human, except his hands haven't become human hands yet.
Oh, yeah.
I like how
But he looks taken over. Like he
yeah,
looks like there's no doubt that
right, yeah. I
that's the
like how the
interesting thing
thing
is
must start in the middle of your body and work outwards, and it just hasn't gotten to his fingies
it
yet.
just hasn't got to the appendages.
Yeah,
There's no, I mean, we don't see it as much. Like there, we don't see the struggle of the transfer. Like, no, I don't
right.
want to be taken over. It's just like I'm the alien, and now
Hmm.
you are a fucking alien.
Yeah. We now, hey, are you listening? I'm the alien, and now you're the alien. Okay. All right. You got me.
That's how it's working.
I kind of, so again, they've seen the craziness of the dogs. And sometimes I try and put myself in this situation. These guys are so quick to burn their friend alive without like asking any. I understand he's got monster fingers, but nobody's like, well, maybe hold on. No, they dump gas all over this dude and torch him.
Well, that's what even when they think one of them, when they start to get suspicious of
Yeah.
each other, it's like tie him up and be ready
Yeah.
to yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. If
No, I don't blame them either,
like I
but
said, you
there's,
didn't see him
yeah.
suffer and say, I don't want this. I'm still in
No.
here, you know. You're
He
like,
even like makes a weird monster noise too. So, okay, I get it. You're convincing me.
I'm
I mean,
flamethrowing that
yeah.
motherfucker.
And and also, I guess they really don't know each other because after this, the old guy is kind of on edge because the old guy's like, I've known a guy's name's Bennings.
Oh,
He's like, I've
he's
known
kind of
Bennings for
sad.
10 years. He's like,
Yeah.
he and I have been friends for 10 years. He's the only one that's kind of broken up. So it must just be sort of a work friendship for the rest of these guys. Like, you show
That's
up
what
at the
I'm thinking.
Arctic and you're like, all right, I'm working with you. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, buddy. Right.
Maybe they were roommates too. Maybe I'm checking another box of like
There
things I'm
you go.
wondering.
There you go.
But eyebrows is never like, yes, I get the room all to myself. So they, so this is,
Probably.
so this is when they're like, hey,
And this is why a 2-hour movie takes us 7 to get through. Doug's
yes,
many
I
wonderings.
just want to know who's rooming with who. One of those sleeping situations. Um, this is when they have the great idea, like maybe we should just burn all this stuff. Like maybe we should burn the
Yeah,
Norwegians.
maybe we
We
need to
should,
not put it in the
yeah.
coat closet. Maybe we need to, like,
Let's not store monsters in the coat closet when we
especially
have
ones that
access to
are,
flamethrowers.
they're not all the way dead. Maybe the
Right.
ones that,
Yes.
yeah, that
Exactly.
might have
Oh,
life in them still.
also while they're burning all of these monsters and dead bodies and everything up, I like how one guy's just like, "Hey, where's Wilford Brimley?"
Oh, yeah.
And they see him like running from the helicopter with an axe. They're like, "Oh, that can't be good."
But see, now this is where I thought that you're on the fence, right, with the
Yeah.
theory. And I appreciated that the movie did this
Uh-huh.
because they all are like, he's infected too. And that's why he's got this crazy rage that, because is this, when does he start just axing the computer, like
Same
the
thing. Yeah.
systems and right?
This is
But
now.
then part of you is also like, is he doing this because he knows how bad it's going to
Yeah.
get? And he's just, it's like, this is what any person would do if they knew that this was going down and this monster is going to just take over all of them and there's no turning back. Like, would you just kind of lose it?
Well,
Or
yeah.
is he, under, is the alien beginning his takeover?
Well, I think, again, in my opinion, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
obvious that he is not taken over at this point just because of things he
No,
says. Because while he's smashing this, and poor Windows is like cowering in a corner, he got a little cut on his head.
such a
Um,
weak man.
what a baby.
Sorry, Windows. Sorry,
Um,
Windows.
while he's axing like all the computers and the radios, he's saying things like, "You think this wanted to be a dog? No, it wants to be one of us. Like it wants to be a human."
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is when they all bum rush him with a table and everything. He had a gun at
Oh,
one
yeah.
point too.
Yeah.
He was shooting at childs.
Well,
So
he takes the gun at one point when he realizes what's going down when
Yeah.
his research, when he makes enough notes in his book without sharing it with anybody
After
else,
he plays his
he's like,
computer game.
the best thing to do is to kill myself and everyone around me. I'm going to
Yes.
load this revolver here and just
It's a good
get ready
idea.
for mayhem.
It's a good
And
idea.
that's
It's a
what
good plan.
they hear him just shooting. That's what brings
Yeah.
everybody, all the girls to the yard, is they hear the gun going off.
Yeah. And they all like tackle him
And
and
there's
like
milkshakes for everyone. No, just kidding.
Knowles made milkshakes. And then he was like, "Oh, these usually bring all the boys to the yard, but now it's Wilford Brimley." This is why people listen to this show, right? Like nobody's listening to hear the plot of the thing, are they? So they all pounce on him and beat him up. And like an old man, they're like, "Okay, Grandpa, let's get you out to the tool shed," because they just take him out and
They
lock him
really
up.
do.
Yeah. They
They're
think he's
like,
gone
listen, this
cuckoo
is for your
bananas.
own good.
Hmm.
And there's a little like latch, isn't there? Like they could look at him and
Like
like talk to
little,
him and
yeah.
and say like, "How you doing? You're doing all right." Like at one point, I think they're like, "We better check on him. I forgot he was out there." Like,
That's what they see him eating out of cans, and he has
yeah.
made a noose. There's a noose next to
I
him.
wondered about
Yes,
that, but
it's
I
crazy.
thought so. Is that noose there in case he turns out to be infected? Then he can just kill himself.
I don't. I boy, if so, he's really smart. Like a last like if he's like if this thing tries to bust down the door, I'm gonna hang myself before it can get to me. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
like the
great.
guy, the Norwegian that suicided himself. This
Yeah,
was,
right. Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Or if he realizes that he's infected. Oh no, well I guess
I think
he was
once you're
convinced he
infected, you're not
wasn't.
gonna kill
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like,
not
I kind of
aware.
like this alien life.
Yeah, this is me. Yeah, this is me now.
Yes. It told me it was me, and now it's me. I like how the alien that would get you would just be a reasonable alien. It wouldn't take you by force. It would just be like, all right, let's sit down and talk this through. Here's what's going to happen.
I'll go in through your
Um,
gut. It'll be a little. Go ahead.
there is an important part here because I forget who takes him out to the tool shed, and there are guys like covering the windows with wood and
Yeah,
everything. Like
they
they're
don't
out there.
want
They're
him to
really
get out,
yeah.
and he's the whole time. He's like, "Guys, I'm really not gonna
Oh
hurt
my
anybody.
God.
Like, I'm not."
Later on when he's like, I'm all better now.
Yeah,
Listen,
he's
maybe
like,
I
I
maybe
had a little meltdown. I got a little hysterical,
I'm not
but
gonna hurt
I'm
anyone.
fine. I'm
I
fine.
just want to come back inside because he's saying things like, I'm hearing weird sounds out here. Can I just come back inside? And I'm like, that's just what an alien would say, right? So before McCready leaves, he says to him and he grabs him and he's like, hey, watch Clark, the dog guy.
Oh, right,
He's
right.
like,
And I wanted
because
to
he's been
watch
around those
Clark
dogs.
too. I
Yeah,
think we should all be watching
he kind
Clark.
of looked sweaty and nervous all the time.
And
Like,
he was around the dogs, and the
yes.
dogs were the first ones to get it. So
Hmm.
I don't know why Quaker Oats had to be the first one to tell him to look out for that guy.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should have all, but that's why he's the scientist
right.
and McQuarrie's the pilot.
Why not yell that when you're having your rage fit inside?
Why not say the alien's not all the way dead before you're going to put him in the storage closet?
There's okay, there's a lot. I like to think that he was not part of that. He was doing his research while they're just dragging
It
dripping
was in his
aliens around.
notebook. It was in it. Oh, where he
No,
didn't
I'm
know they
just
were
saying
going to store
he's
him.
doing his
Maybe.
like Joe Rogan, he's doing his own research and maybe he didn't tell
Yeah.
them everything. So I like how the other doctor, because now that Wilford Brimley's locked in a tool shed, it's up to Glasses, who's his, I don't know, apprentice or
I want to
something.
say, yeah, like his
Yeah,
assistants of some kind. But he's
because
too nervous. He can't
he's so
make a
nervous.
choice on his own. He's like, but I gotta, should I bring it back to the shed so he could approve? And they're like, just do what you have to do.
Should I get him to double check my work? I'm not sure I did these numbers right.
I
But
don't
finally,
know.
McCready's like, hey, do you have any idea what we could do? He's like, you know what we could do? There's a bunch of blood. For some reason, they're storing blood in this place.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know why. Have no idea why they're like,
Well,
oh,
this is
it's
creepy.
that fresh blood and try and mix it with our blood to see if it reacts. But Jamie, somebody's tampered with the blood.
Somebody. And this is another like, Well, who's done it? Well,
Yeah.
only this guy has the key. But this guy, it's very
Oh my
possible
God.
someone took the key off of me. Like,
It's awesome
it's a
because
big
it's
old
the
whodunit.
yeah, because it's the doctor being like, well, I'm the only one that has the keys, but I always borrow the keys from eyebrows over there. And it's kind of just the
Yeah.
two of them that are suspects at this point. So,
And it's a clean, neat, like it's not a messy blood. Like the bags of
well,
blood are just emptied.
I mean, it's pretty messy. There's blood all over the floor. But yes, I know what you mean. It's not like
Well,
somebody like exploded the blood or anything like that. Someone just went in and,
right,
I
right.
don't know, cut the bags or
Or the
something. I don't know.
container.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But then they're like, well, we don't know. Like, this could be mixed with alien blood now. Like, this blood's totally ruined. And there's so many,
So
like, we just saw them burn up a bunch of aliens, and now we have to watch them burn blood bags outside as well. I like that they're thorough, but maybe we don't need this. They could just be walking in going, really burned up all those blood bags. How's the hot cocoa coming? Like, that would be totally fine. I don't need to keep watching them burn things and then, like, bury them in the snow.
well,
So
this is what we do in the cold.
this is when
Yeah,
McCready takes control and is like, because
yeah.
also Windows freaks out at this point and runs and grabs a gun. Everybody's like, put that gun down, dude. And
Oh yeah,
Eyebrows is like, I
he
will
goes and grabs
shoot
like a
you.
rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Eyebrows is like, I'm
right in
going to
the
shoot
head.
you right in I killed a Norwegian. I
Uh-huh.
can kill you, Windows. And there's
Yep.
a whole kerfuffle. And finally, McCready, we've been waiting for sweet Kurt Russell to be in charge. And now he's officially in charge.
Yeah, he
His
because he can.
first order of business is to say, okay, Eyebrows and Doc, you guys had a chance to get those keys. Also, Clark the dog guy, you're suspicious. We're gonna tie you up and shoot you up with morphine around the clock.
We're gonna keep you looped, drugged up, and tied
Yeah,
up,
it's
and you're just.
I love
I
it.
mean, great choice, great choice. That's why he's the commander in chief.
There's a great line here because they are tied up and turtleneck with the sweater, the guy who has a heart attack.
Right.
He's
Hmm.
injecting them with morphine and he's about to inject the doctor and the doctor's like, just let me do it. You'll break the needle off of my arm.
Oh yeah.
Kyle's just standing there with a flamethrower and goes, Doc, he's doing a really fine job. It's like, okay, that's great. Just the delivery of that line is fantastic. And turtleneck sweater seems so nervous. He's the guy who the doc is like, you should be in charge. He's like, I can't handle that kind of responsibility
It's
right
not happening.
now.
Yeah.
Which seems very, it seems very suspicious because we soon find out that he is infected. So
Right.
he had a chance to be in charge, and the alien was like, that's too much responsibility for me. I'm sorry. The alien could have made quick work of these people if it maybe just took charge.
If he could have been the leader, but
Yeah.
again, maybe the alien also takes on some of the like. He obviously the alien chose the wrong guy to first infect, or to
Okay.
second infect.
I think he's the first infected. He's the first
Okay. Yeah.
infected because I think his shadow's on the wall when the dog walks in early. And then
Oh
Benny's is
yes, it
infected
was
by one
his.
of the dead bodies. So I think this guy's been
Okay.
infected for a while, but I think it might just be because the dog like licked his face or something. So maybe that's why he's having tummy and heart troubles. Like maybe he's not quite an alien yet.
Oh
He's
yeah,
just
yeah,
in the
yeah.
process of
And
becoming
that's
one.
why. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is
yeah.
really nice because again, there are just these long scenes like tracking shots of the hallways and empty rooms, and we see that McCready's sitting alone. He's recording himself. We talked about the way to record yourself on tapes. He's doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love how
And
he's
at one
talking
point, he
about
records himself, and he's like, "If anyone gets this, doesn't he stop it and then re-record it?" And he's like,
yes.
"Forget it, we're
Yep.
fucked." Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. And he even says things great like we're so tired and nobody trusts each other.
yeah.
It's
We're a
really
hot
nice. It's
mess over
very
here.
real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Um and sorry. Oh, so Fuchs, who is the glasses,
Hmm.
he is in charge of doing his research now. So he's in his little area. And it appears that he's getting to the bottom of this. I guess he might be figuring things out, but he sees a shadow and he decides to run outside and see what's going on.
And see what, and that it
Yes.
doesn't end well for him.
It does not end well for him, and we never quite understand what happened to him.
No.
Because at this point, this is the part of the movie where they're all like, oh, maybe we should go check on Wilbur Brimley out
Yeah.
there. And this is when he's just eating out of a can with a noose, talking about how he's all better and everything's cool now, so they should let him in. And they're about to leave. They're about to go back. And
Mhm.
this is when they find Fuchs, who's all just like burned up. He's basically just like a skeletor now.
Mhm.
And they don't know why. They don't know if he was an alien. They don't
They
know if
don't
he,
know if he tried to fight the alien
yeah,
and then just lit himself on
burned
fire because he was
himself.
afraid. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Something they found his glasses. That's all they know.
That's all that was left of him.
Yeah, that was all that was left. And then
That should be the way it is for everybody in here. Like the one guy should be like, what do we do with his orange vest? Just put this, make a little
put it
grave
in the
for him.
storage closet.
Put it in the storage. I'm sure it's fine. It's just covered in blood. Um, this is when they're about to go back because there's three of them. And McCready says to Knowles, he's like, all right, you and me, Windows. Oh, yeah, it's Windows. God, poor Windows. He's so dumb. He's like, Windows, go back. Knowles, you and me, we have something to do. And Knowles is like, what? What do we have to do? And McCready goes, well, when I left my shack earlier, I turned the lights off. So
And
there's
look,
lights on in
yeah,
his little shack.
something
Yeah.
suspicious.
And
So they gotta go. It's so cold out there. Every time they go outside,
oh, freezing.
they come back bluer in the face.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, when it's just like they're losing all the kind of power and it's just going to be freaking cold there,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh
And you don't
man,
know if one of them's
guys.
an alien. And
Yeah.
it's great because he even says something like, well, I don't think either of us are in much shape to do anything about it, which
No,
is
and
a
they just
great,
kind of
like,
look at each
yeah,
other,
it's
right?
really fun. It's a
Yeah.
great
Uh-huh.
ending.
It's
So then Knowles, for some reason, runs back in and he's like, I had to leave McCready out there because I found ripped up clothing
yes.
with his name on it because we find out earlier Knowles, for some reason, is like somebody threw their ripped up underwear in the
Yeah, there's
kitchen trash.
huge pair of bloomers are just out there
Yes.
and
So,
they're
yeah.
saved and he McCready saves them, right? For
Yeah.
some reason he's
He's
like, we gotta
constantly
get
looking at them. And I'm like, shouldn't you burn that? Like, let's just
But then
burn
don't
this
they find
stuff.
his outfit? They find McCready's shirt because that's what
Yeah,
he brings
right. That's
back.
what Knowles
Yeah.
brings
Yeah.
back. It's just a shirt with his name on it. And so he's like, I think he might be an alien and we should leave him
Yep.
there. There's a huge thing right now where they want to leave him outside to freeze, but he's able to break a
Mhm.
window to get in and he's just threatening them with dynamite.
Well, he's just pissed because
Yeah.
he's
Because
like, I
immediately
think,
everybody's like, all right, we believe you. You're fine.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
fine. Just,
Well, they're
okay.
all on edge.
Totally
They're all
cools
on
those.
edge. And yeah, exactly. Whoops. Nope. Nope. We think you're okay. We think you're okay. You're
Yeah.
fine. No, you're not going to be put in a shack. You're fine. Or left. That is kind of cool to just leave him outside to freeze because
Yeah.
that becomes the thing where they're like, if we're gonna do this, are we sure that we're sure that they're infected?
Right.
Because right
Yes.
now we're all starting to get a little unhinged because
Uh-huh.
things are bananas. So when you think someone's acting a little fishy, are they? Or are
Exactly.
they just a little
Yeah.
scared?
Because
Yeah.
because Windows is like we gotta let him in, and
Yeah.
a few of the other guys are like, no, we should keep him out there, and they're
Right.
like, well, wait, why do you suddenly want to kill people and everything? So yeah, it's this is what I like about this movie. Like I said earlier, this is the type of
This is
movie
why
I
it
like
hits
where
home.
you
This is why it
don't
hits for
it
me.
hits home. It hits home.
Yeah.
I was wondering which of my kids is gonna go crazy and just flamethrow us.
I think I know which one.
Oh no, I don't think there's a question. So he's threatening them with dynamite, and they're all like, all right, dude, listen, I guess you're still in charge, and we're totally fine with it. And to break the
Right.
tension, Turtleneck has a heart attack or something.
Yeah, that's right. Because he
Yeah,
can't take it. He
he
can't take all
can't.
this. It's panic
That's
station.
right. He already didn't want to be in charge
Do
and
you
is
know
nervous
how
giving
chill their
shots.
job was before this had happened? They were
Oh
just
my
all
God.
drinking and playing computer
Yeah.
games.
And the science is probably just like looking at snow under a
Snow
microscope or
tracks. They were
something.
looking at tracks in the snow,
Yeah.
following elk. I don't know.
Oh,
Elk?
I
Elk?
I would love to think there's elk in Antarctica. So he's having a heart attack, and they untie the doc, who's on morphine, but apparently
Yeah.
he's the only guy who can save lives. And the doctor's like, all right, get me the defibrillator.
Oh, this is funny. Yeah.
It is an awesome scene.
And he does start defibrillating,
He
but then he
tries.
puts his hand right through this like chest of
His chest turns into like a mouth with teeth and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and it bites off the arm of the doctor,
Both of his arms are just immediately
which it would be
removed from his body.
crazy. Think about it. If surgery was like, yeah, or like, I don't know, any kind of, I don't know, be crazy if your stomach had teeth like that.
You're not telling me anything I don't know. That would be crazy. I was watching this movie and I was thinking about how crazy it might be if your stomach had teeth. Yeah, it would be dangerous.
But for surgeons, I believe it would be more.
It would be,
Oh my God.
I
It would be
mean,
a long day.
hazard of the job. Yes. So he's an alien. He's a thing. Chomps the arms right off of the doctor. I assume he fell over and bled out because he's dunzos. Like we don't
Yeah, we
see
don't
him
see it. No.
anymore in the movie.
Well, now he's infected too. Is it that
He
kind of
must be.
infection where you get bit and now you're infected too?
If a dog can lick your face and it makes your
Yeah,
tummy turn into a mouth, anything is
I think
possible.
so. Yeah.
It's,
So even if he didn't die, they had to kill him because he's infected.
y-
They had to
I,
burn him.
I hope he died. Like I hope this poor doctor bled to death and they didn't drag him out kicking and screaming to light him on fire.
I mean,
So they do torch up the guy that's on the table, the heart
hmm
attack sweater turtleneck, and his head separates from his body
oh, this is when it turns into a crawly
like
spider
a
thing.
spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
hmm
And starts to crawl away. And this is great because the guy's always smoking pot, looks over and just sees his head crawling away and just goes, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." And
With
it's like
the
leaving the room, just like
yeah,
did it
just
slowly.
skittering away. Yep. Bye bye.
And they torch that thing. And now it's time to get down to business because
Correct.
Kurt Russell finally is like, all right, I'm the guy in charge here. Here's what we're going to do. Apparently, this thing does not like fire. It doesn't like defibrillators. There's a lot of things it doesn't like. So he has a very simple plan. He's going to collect blood from everyone.
Oh, right.
He's going to heat up a piece of copper wire with a
hmm
flamethrower and then stick the copper wire in the blood and I guess assumes there would be a reaction.
Then this is like your positive negative kind of thing. Like,
Right. Yes.
right? Either you got it or you don't. I don't know what
Yes.
the cop, I don't know. I don't know where the science is behind this because he's the pilot. But this is what he knows to be true that if
You
you
know
put
what?
copper
You're out of
wire in
ideas.
blood.
Yeah. At this
He's
point, you're
got a
just
lot of petri dishes
yeah,
filled
you
with
just
blood.
try.
There's a lot, by the way, because
Yeah,
he
go ahead.
does make them give the blood sample. They all have to cut themselves and squeeze the blood. That's a lot of blood that they
Can that
give.
much blood come out of your thumb? I know we got a lot of blood in us, Jamie, but when they're cutting their thumbs and it's like a guys are
It
coming out
fills the
there,
petri dish.
it's like that's a
It's
lot.
not
How
like
deep did
drip,
you
drip,
cut?
drip. Because
Right.
then when the blood does react, oh
Oh,
boy, does
when
it
the blood
react.
reacts, it looks like the
Yeah.
blob. It's huge. I'm like,
And
how much blood was in there?
I like how when he goes to test each one, he's like, well, I don't forget all the names, but he's like, all right, Windows. And
Yeah.
it's like this moment of tension where the guys are like, I
Yeah.
don't know, it's me. Before he puts it's like this whole,
Yeah. But now
oh, right.
before this even happens, he's trying to explain to them about the blood thing. And the sweaty dog man decides to take this opportunity. He at one point grabbed a scalpel, I assume while all of the chaos was happening with the doctor, got his arms bitten off.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
grabbed a scalpel and he goes at McCready. And McCready turns around and shoots him right in the head.
Yep. Yep.
Shoots him deadzos. And
Dead
then,
zoos.
and he even takes their blood. He takes his blood. He takes the dead doctor's blood. And I love how he starts with himself because everybody else is tied up. Like
hmm
he's really taking control to the point where it's like, all right, all of you tie yourselves up. And I
Yes.
promise I'm not going to do anything bad.
Yes.
And they're all kind of on board for this. But he starts with himself and he says, now I'm going to show you what I already know. And he tries his own
Right.
blood and it seems totally fine. They
Right.
all appear still skeptical.
Yeah.
And next, I think he tries Clark the dog guy
Yeah.
and finds out that he
And
was clean.
we're all kind of surprised that he's clean.
Very, very surprised.
Even Clark was like, "Well, I thought I was losing it." Okay.
You
But I
mean,
think that's what
when you
else is
mean dead
happening.
Clark is on the table? Like, I thought I was an alien. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
But I think I kind of get the sense that that's what's happening to all of them. Is like
Yeah.
like what, even when before the doc got his arm chewed off, um, he kind of agrees to being tied up because he's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling
Mm,
this paranoid because I think it's like, well, I'll share this for our women listeners.
of
For
course.
perimenopausal women, everything is perimenopause. Like anything, like your eye twitches, it's perimenopause. Your have a headache, it's perimenopause. You have all these things, right? So I feel like these are like a bunch of perimenopausal men, but with the alien takeover. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
right. No, it does make sense because I think that, and
Like all
again,
of these symptoms could be
right. Yeah.
an
Because
alien takeover.
we don't get into, and we kind of talked about it, like we don't get into exactly how this alien works and turns you into a monster. Like if it wraps its tentacles around you and it like goopifies you, okay, you know you're an alien. But again, sweater, turtleneck, tummy trouble might not have known that he was an alien. Like he
Yeah.
may have just been thinking he's come down with something. But again,
Yeah.
you're nervous because of the symptoms.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
already and you're feeling
Uh-huh.
anxious and you can't control your racing thoughts. Is that because
Uh-huh.
the alien's starting to take over? Or is that just because
Right.
you're in a very stressful situation?
Yeah. So
There you have it.
he's testing some blood. After he
Right.
tests Clark, the dog handler, I do like how he's not an alien. And Childs goes, huh, so Clark was human. That makes you a murderer. That was pretty great. And he tests then the guy who's always smoking pot, Palmer, and
Yes.
the blood jumps out at you. Like a
And
scary
yeah.
movie. Like we're watching a scary movie.
Yeah.
And he starts to thing out, tied to a couch with a bunch of other
Well,
guys.
and I love it. The other guys are freaking out because they're very close to each other, tied
Yes,
together. And they're like, get him away from us. You can't no,
they're
this
all
can't be
tied to.
happening.
Somehow he breaks out of his little like rope ties and like
Right.
he's on the ceiling for a little while.
He
He
crawls
falls
up there.
down.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And he drops down. Nobody can get their goddamn flamethrowers to work at this point in the movie.
Yeah, it's a
And
sloppy
yeah.
flamethrower
And
situation.
Windows just stands in front of this monster and allows this thing to grab him by the head and like throw him around the room. So he's dead.
Gonzies.
And finally, this Palmer monster like busts through the wall to escape, and he's flamethrowed, he's blown up, and then um, McCready comes back in and flamethrows poor Windows, who's just like a bloody mess in the corner, twitching and shaking.
Mhm.
So now it's time to just keep testing everyone.
We got to get to the bottom of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now at this point, it is just it's Knowles, roller skates. He's clean.
Hmm.
McCready's clean. And they test Childs and they test eyebrows, and they're all clean.
Hmm.
Yes. And this is when, and you referenced it very early in our recording because eyebrows is the last one to be tested, and he's clear, and he very calmly at first just says, "I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of the winter tied to this fucking
He
couch."
has a complete freak out, and I'm here for it because
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, yeah.
And I
Especially
did,
knowing because he's like, fine, I'll
yeah.
go along with being tied up. Fine, I'll be next to the scary
Yep.
monster thing. Yeah.
And I
Yep.
did hear in a documentary that he was not supposed to do that. He was not supposed to deliver the line that way. And
Oh,
something
he
he
just
did
took
in
it
the moment. Yes.
beautifully done.
Yeah, it's
Beautifully
great.
done. Yeah.
So they now suddenly are like, all right, the four of us are great. Why don't we go do the blood test on Wilford Brimley, who has been
Oh,
out in the
yeah.
tool shed the whole time?
We'll make sure he's doing all right.
Yes.
Right.
So they go out and he's gone. The doors open to the shed. He's gone. They do a little bit of investigation. Oh, they leave Childs back at the main camp. He's just
Oh,
tasked
right.
with like watching the front door or whatever, making sure Wilford Brimley doesn't come back or
Right.
whatever.
You got to check. You got to,
Yeah.
right.
So the three of them, Knowles, McCready, and Eyebrows, they go looking for Wilford Brimley and they find that he's been building a tiny spaceship in an underground cavern.
That's what you do with all that time out there.
Right, exactly.
Suspicious.
Yes. So we can go through like just, I mean, there's a quick scene of where Childs was left by the door to watch the door.
Yeah.
We see somebody outside moving around.
Yeah. Some
The
shadows
the camera
moving.
shows us
Mhm.
inside. Childs isn't by the door anymore where he was supposed to be staying.
Somebody take over. What's
Yes.
happening? Yeah. Yeah.
The I don't want to speed through the end of this movie, but I think we kind of can because this is like the most actiony the movie gets
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
when the three of them are creeping around and they decide basically that there's no way they're going to survive this. There's no way they're getting out of here, but their plan is to not let the thing survive. So they're going to just blow everything up and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully kill it.
Mm-hmm.
We see, there's a scene where Knowles hears something and just walks off toward it, and then we never see him again in the movie. Because apparently there was, like, his death was kind of filmed, and then there's a part where the monster has, like, part of him in it.
Because it morphs
Um,
into all of them. Yeah.
yeah,
It
and you can
becomes
find,
all
like,
of them.
footage online that is kind of grainy and doesn't look great, but
Mm,
it at least shows you that he did die.
mm.
And Eyebrows, the old man, he's like killed by Wilford Brimley because he
Oh,
like muffles
yeah.
his mouth and like becomes part of his face with his mouth. It's a weird thing.
Oh, this thing does this though. It does like this
Mhm.
twin or
Twinning,
what? Twinning. Yeah, it does some
twinning.
twinning. Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt Russell leaps around with dynamite, blows up monsters, and runs
Leaps,
around. He
dynamite
the
leaping.
leap is kind of
Yeah.
crazy. So I'm like,
Uh,
well, that was unnecessary. You could have just walked over there. Yeah, so he blows this thing up, kind of blows the entire base up for the most part.
for the most part, they got to just get rid of and they're kind of chasing it and it's chasing them as they blow the
Yeah.
things up, right?
Yep.
Because
Mm-hmm.
they realize that it's just gonna do what it's gonna do, which is find put itself kind of back to sleep, freeze
Right.
itself till it's discovered again, and they basically or McCready or Russell is basically like, yeah, well, I'm this thing, if we're all gonna die anyway, we
Uh-huh.
got to make sure that this thing does not live.
Yes.
So we'll do whatever we got to do to get it gone.
Yeah. And at the end of this movie, the whole camp is just wasted. It's just all burning around
Similar to
him.
what they discovered over in the
Y-
Norwegian camp.
Very
It's
much like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. And Kurt Russell just finds like I don't know, a comfortable spot to freeze to death, I guess.
Well, and they more booze. They found more Jim
Mm-hmm.
Beam to kind of suck her down,
Yep. Yeah.
and
He's
yeah, it is
about to
kind of
take
a
it.
great
Yeah.
little ending. Yeah,
Uh-huh. He's about to take a drink, and there's Childs.
there's
We
Mr.
haven't seen him
Childs.
since he was supposed to be watching the door to the
Yeah,
base.
yeah.
And Childs just kind of joins him. They
Mhm.
sit down, they share a drink, they agree to just like sit there for a while and see what
Watch each
happens.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And it's
one of
great.
us.
Like
Yeah,
it's just a wonderful way to end it. There's no
yeah,
like one of them doesn't turn into the thing and oh it cuts to black or anything like that. You're left wondering if one or both of them are an alien
yeah,
or what. It's a really really great way to end the movie and there are like you could do insane deep dives of like people talking about theories of well why this person is definitely the thing because of blah 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 but I don't know. I find it interesting, but also I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's not the point of
yeah.
this.
Just this is
Like
how
it's
it
just a
ends, right?
great
Yeah, yeah,
ending. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah. And
can't things
that's
just end? And
yeah.
there you have it.
And
El
that is
fin.
the end of the thing. And I am kind of surprised it took us this long to get to it. This is, as I said, I think it's one of my favorite movies ever.
I'm
I
glad. I'm
don't
glad
I
it's never a
wasn't
birthday pick.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
because you try to think outside the box, I guess,
It's not
sometimes with
yeah,
your
and it's
stuff.
not like I was like avoiding it or anything. It just
Yeah.
It never made it. I mean, we're too busy, as we said, talking about movies where Chevy Chase dies and turns into a dog. How
I
are we going to
mean,
get to the thing?
how?
Right.
It was and having never seen it, I totally was like, oh my gosh, I would have
Hmm.
never watched this
Yeah.
as a kid. I wasn't like I was like, what? This would have, there's been movies that we've seen, I can't think of them right now, that I'm like, oh my God, if this was part of my growing up, it would have changed or it would have just solidified or it would have whatever.
The Legend of Billie Jean.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that was the one. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Um, but this one, it was good though. It was definitely, I enjoyed it. I think for me personally, because
Yeah.
I like a movie to have a good, maybe hour 40 tops, but a little long. But I'm not mad about it because I got to, see Cutie Pie Kurt Russell do his
I
thing.
I
And you
don't.
know what? I sometimes don't always like these, like, okay, we're crazy looking at, like, what was the
Yeah.
one we just did with the bugs in the hospital and the crazy hospital basement situation?
That was awesome. Except when they got into the basement. I forget what it was called. Let's call it Hospital Bugs.
Yeah. But this was good.
Yeah.
This
All
was
right.
the thing, and it was a good thing.
I don't mean to do this to you, Jamie, because we just had a conversation about this with the last episode. We talked about this movie's only an hour 42.
Is it?
Yes.
Why do these seem like
I
forever long
don't
to
know.
me?
You were like, I don't know. After Hours was great, but I can't sit through something that's 2.5 hours long.
What is
Jamie, it's an hour
happening?
28.
What am I thinking?
I have no idea.
I think I take some kind of time warp when I watch these
I
movies.
don't know. Oh, maybe it's a menopausal symptom.
An hour and a half movie will feel like 2 hours.
That's right.
You'll be convinced.
Oh my God. All
I
right.
can't believe I brought that up as a comparison. Oh man.
All
Well, you
right.
listeners, I
So,
appreciate.
do you have any recommendations?
Well, the thing that it made me think of, and I didn't do my due diligence for recommendations. So,
Hmm.
but what it did make me think of while watching it, and I haven't watched the new season of Yellow Jackets because
Hmm.
it has that similar like who done it, and we're all kind of crazy, and
Sure.
what's happening here. I mean, it's not. But I haven't watched the third season because I have to be honest, that show got really heavy for me, and I needed things
I
to be light
Yes, and
right
I
now.
don't I don't think it was the heaviness. I didn't have that feeling. I loved the first season. Loved it.
Yes,
Second season was just
too
I don't know if
much.
it was yeah, it was too much. There's too
Yeah,
much going on. Like there's too
yeah.
much going on. I haven't watched the third. Carla and I watch it together, so she hasn't seen it. Jocelyn watched it and said it wasn't very good. And
Oh, I'll
since I
take
wasn't
that
crazy
honest
about the
review.
second season, I
Not
don't
even
even.
gonna dive in.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'll dive in at some point. I think there's enough where even if it's not great, I do want to keep watching it.
And I appreciate the actors and the
Oh
actresses
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, that's one great reason to watch it.
Yeah.
Um,
For you,
I'm
you've
gonna
got
go
another thing.
really I'm gonna go really easy with my
Oh,
recommendations because I'm gonna recommend both the original and I'm gonna recommend the prequel from 2011.
oh, that's a double one. I should have
Yeah,
said. Where are
it's
we
a
going?
double. And I watch way more movies with my mom than my dad. My dad and I don't have a whole lot
That.
of movie, like, there are a few movies I can think of that I'm like, oh, yeah, we watched that together. There was one time where my dad told me that when he was a kid, there were two things he saw that scared him, that really scared him.
Okay.
One was the original thing from 1951,
Oh,
and the other was an episode of The Twilight Zone where it's called The Eye of the Beholder. And it's such a fun episode because it's just like this woman with bandages all over her face. And you never see the doctors and stuff, but you hear them talking and
mm.
they're like, all right, well, we tried the surgery again and blah, blah, blah. And they unwrap her face and she's beautiful. And they're like, it was not a success. You're a
Oh,
hideous monster. And it turns out that everybody in this world looks like pig people, like all their noses are,
oh, the
and they
pig
look,
people
yeah,
episode.
they
Yeah.
look horrible. And she looks gorgeous. And she's like, oh no, this is the worst. And at the end of the episode, it's so much fun. They put her in a room with all these other normal looking people. And she goes up to this guy and she's like, why do we have to look this way? And he's like, I don't know. We're hideous. And he's handsome as the day is long. And it's great. And so he told me once, he was like, those are the only two things that he remembers as a kid scaring him. Um, so about a year ago, he had back. No, he had oh yeah, he had his knee replaced. So he couldn't like move around. He couldn't get around.
Hmm.
So I took over this version of the thing, and he and I sat and
Oh,
watched it. And at the end, he was like, "That's better than the original." He's like, "That's
ah,
really good." Yeah. So I just thought that was adorable, and that was
that's a
really nice.
fun. Yeah, that's a fun
And
one. I love it.
yeah, and the old one's good. It's very very similar to this. But if you can handle old movies, some people get bored. Um, I would watch it.
Okay.
The prequel is all about the Norwegian team.
Kind of
Y-
want to know about that
Yeah,
one.
you
Yeah, I'm
find out
interested.
all about them, and Mary Elizabeth
Smart way to
Winstead.
go.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that actress, Mary
She's
Elizabeth
got many
Winstead.
names.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
she's got three of them. Um, she's like an American that's on the team, so they do have to speak English sometimes. But I do
Okay.
appreciate that when the Norwegians are just talking to each other, there is subtitles. Um, and it's really kind of like fun to just see what happens to him because you see the aftermath. I will say it's a movie that the third act is not very good. I
Okay.
will spoil it. She like gets into the alien spaceship, and at that point, it's kind of stupid, and I have no interest in
Mm.
it. But the ending of it is awesome because the ending of it is two guys getting in a helicopter to go chase a dog and shoot at it. It's
Oh, so
awesome.
we're getting ready to
Yes,
lead into
yeah,
this. I
yeah.
like it.
It's like perfect. Like back to back, you could watch those two movies. So those are my recommendations.
Well, nice recommendations.
Yeah. Well, thank
Like
you.
peanut butter and jelly. It goes together.
Yeah, it it does. All three of them go together. Oh, well, listeners, as you know, if you're a regular listener, this whole year we've been releasing all of our old Patreon episodes because our Patreon no longer exists on our off weeks. So we've been releasing episodes every week. Next week, Jamie, this comes to an end. We are releasing our
The
final,
last one.
final Patreon episode. And I know last time I said to you, I was like, oh, Jamie, we only have one more Patreon episode to release. An eagle-eared listener, and I was very impressed by this, reached out to us on Instagram and was like, hey, I know you said that you only have one more Patreon episode to release,
Oh,
but don't you have two? And I
oh,
was like, yeah, I was like, well, we're releasing The Evil Dead 2, and that's going to be our last one. And he's like, well, what about the Hollywood Madam? Or what was that? What was that movie that we did? The TV movie?
oh,
I
the
think it was called
TV
Hollywood
movie. Yeah,
Madam
yeah.
or whatever. And I was like, man, and it's not that I forgot, but I was like, we'll just hold on to that. If there's ever an episode or a week that we can't do this, like that was my
To
whole
do it.
plan was to just hold on to it. And I was
Yeah,
like,
so
how
that
does
we have
anybody
fill-ins.
know? Like, I appreciate people listening to this and doing that type of in-depth research, but I was shocked that anybody was like, you didn't release your Hollywood
You
Madam
got the
episode.
Hollywood Madam. Don't hold back.
Yeah, so everybody's going to have to wait on the Hollywood Madam and just hope that at one point we can't record and then you can finally hear our take on Hollywood Madam starring Robin Givens, right?
Sure, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So next week will be Evil Dead 2, our final Patreon episode. But after that, Jamie, this is our last regular episode before our 10th anniversary.
Wow, before the anniversary.
And we've been switching picks. You choose one, I choose one, you choose one. I took it upon myself to choose something for the both of us for this one
Oh,
because something we said that we should watch more of, and there weren't many choices. So I was like, we really have to space these things out. We're going to revisit our good friend, Jean-Claude Van Damme,
yeah, we are.
and we are going to watch Kickboxer from
Oh,
1989, which I can't imagine is all that different than Bloodsport.
no.
As long as he's kicking people in the face,
I
I'm
think
and
we got it.
delivering
I think
lengthy
we
lines
got
of
it. As
dialogue, which he should not be doing, and hopefully doing splits. As long as we see splits, I'm
long
okay
as
with
I
it.
see some splits, I'm all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So that will be our last episode before our 10-year anniversary
Can you
episode.
believe it? A
Ah,
whole decade.
I know. Jamie, I have some ideas for that episode. I know you and I have been talking about it, but
Please do share.
I will send over an itinerary. We've never done this.
Mm,
We've
okay.
never we've never been like, here's what we're
Sounds so
gonna do
profesh.
here and here and here. but I
Well, we
think
got
we're
to
going to
keep it.
try it.
We got to keep it polished.
Oh my God. I mean, that's what the listeners have come to expect from us now that we're on Zoom. Now that we've entered the year 2020, we really just need to be on top of our game.
We're on.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you again in 2 weeks' time. Until then, everybody have a great 2 weeks.
That's right.
Take it. Take that. That's right. I'm the thing, and now you're the thing. Got it?
This is how it works. It's a takeover. No, but thank you. Okay.
All right.
Goodbye. Stop.
Expeditions.